Hey guys, it's Nate, aka The Foot Accountant. Welcome back to the channel. We have a huge video today explaining and discussing some of the biggest news we have had in a long time about FIFA 23 Ultimate Team from the Foot 23 reveal trailer that was released today from EA Sports. What I want to do is explain and break down the new chemistry system, the brand new position change system, and the new foot moments, currency, and game mode coming to FIFA 23. I also want to put a little bit of a market perspective on everything today. And from what we learned, we can kind of deduce some things that will be different in the FIFA 23 market and some ways that the market might move early on that we can be prepared for from what we learned today about FIFA 23. So if you're excited for FIFA 23 and if you're confused about the new chemistry system, because a lot of us are still confused as well, hit the thumbs up on the video and subscribe if you're new. What I'm going to do right now though is try to break that confusion and start to explain this brand new chemistry system because it's a whole overhaul. It is brand new. There is really not a lot that is similar from the old years of FIFA's past, what we've been used to for so long. That would be my biggest advice to you is completely forget about the old way of chemistry and start to think about this new way. There's also a couple of tools that I want to give you guys that will help you learn this as well. One of those is a squad builder website. So we'll talk about that in a second. But the basics, how is chemistry now going to be formed in FIFA? It's all based around a 0 to 3 scale of a chemistry indicator. Each player in the team will count towards the amount of chemistry built up. Instead of having 100 chemistry now, it is all about these, what we maybe call diamonds or chemistry points is what they're called. It's all about getting to 33 chemistry points, 3 chem points for all 11 players on the pitch inside of a squad. That's how it's added up. So how does a player get these chemistry points? Well, it's based off of club, league, and nation, just like it always is. The basis is not changing. It's just the way that chemistry is calculated is what's changing in this next year. So if you get 2 players from the same club, as it shows here, and I'm going to actually pull up a bigger picture because it looks way better if I do it this way. If you get 2 players from the same club, they get 1 chemistry point. If you get 3 players from the same league or nation, you also get 1 chemistry point for that player. And that's the basis of chemistry for all cards except icons and heroes. And the best way that I can explain this and the best way to learn it, especially if you're a hands-on learner, is check out this website, foot.gg/squad-builder. I'm going to put the link to this website as the first link in the description because this is massive for helping you learn how this chemistry works. So let's explain it just a little bit. Right now, I have Messi and Hakimi on the right side of the squad. They are both on 1 chemistry point because there are 2 PSG players in this team, 2 League One players. If I got 1 more League One player, it would put me to that 3rd player from the league that would get me another chemistry point. So if I add in, let's say, Verratti. Let me add in Verratti. I'll talk about position changes in a second, but if I position change him to center attacking mid, that gives me a 3rd PSG player and a 3rd League One player. I could actually put Paqueta in here and it would do the same thing because Paqueta is a League One player. So Messi and Hakimi go to 2 out of 3 chemistry points. Paqueta is still only on 1 as the only only getting a chemistry point from being the 3rd League One player. So that's how this chemistry is kind of made up. Now, icons also add to this by nation, and this is actually really, really big. Let me add Pele in here and show you guys this. Pele as an icon, all icons in their starting position will be on full 3 chemistry. They'll be on full chem. They will also count as 2 for their nation. So Brazil, Pele is the only Brazil card in this squad, but it shows here that there are 2, right? So icons count for 2 cards in terms of nation. And if I add in Ginola, shapeshifters, hero, as a striker, heroes count as 2 for the league. So as you can see, it's actually behind my face cam, but I am on 5 chemistry points for Premier League players. If I add a Premier League midfielder, let me add Conte into this squad, I will be on a full 6, although Conte is off chemistry, so we'll position change into center mid. Conte is our 6th player, so all Premier League cards in this squad will have at least 2 chemistry points out of 3. Now, the Spurs and the Manchester City players in this squad, like De Bruyne, Son, Cancelo, and Romero, are on 3 points because they also have 2 players from the same club, which gets them that third and final chemistry point. Now, let me show you something even crazier. Let's say I didn't want Conte in my team. Remove. That puts Romero, De Bruyne, Son, and Cancelo all back to 2 chemistry points. If I add a Premier League manager, they will all go to 3. A manager is a huge aspect of this new chemistry system because it will give you automatically 1 chemistry point right here, manager bonus. The manager will contribute 1 chemistry increment to all players that share either the country or the league. This is huge because instead of a manager giving you 1 chemistry on a player, that's 1/10 of all the chemistry you needed. Now, a manager will give you 1 chemistry increment or 1 chemistry point in the new system. That's 1/3 of all the chemistry that you needed. So really, just get as many cards as you can on 2 chemistry, 2 out of 3, and then throw a manager in there, and boom. If the manager is like, let's say he's Premier League, but he is, French, that would give Ginola another, that would give Ginola, I think it would just give him 1. We don't know if a manager would give 1 for the league and 1 for the nation. If a player like this Ginola would be a French and Premier League, that's what we're not sure about, but it will at least give 1 to each league and to nation, which is massive. That is so big for chemistry and building in this new formula, this new overhaul of the chemistry system. So that's the biggest advice I can give you, though, is start to work on this website. Literally me spending 10 minutes here made it all click, and it's really I'm really starting to figure it out. The biggest L from all of this, and let me show you this because there are some downsides from this new system. You can't make as incredible of hybrids as you may be used to in FIFA, right? Look at Messi and Hakimi. I used to have them in the 4-5-1 in my ultimate team, just these exact same cards, and they were on 10 chemistry in a 4-5-1. Now that's not the case because, they only get that 1 link out of 3 instead of getting the chemistry number to 10 with that green strong link and only needing the 2 links from the old method, right? Throw the old method out the window. The new one is here. So the biggest disappointment for this whole new chemistry method, in my opinion, are some of those like hyperlinks that we used to have that could make, you could put like 4 different leagues in 1 squad. It's going to be harder to do that, a little bit harder, unless you have the help with some icons and some managers. So it does make, and what they say in this article is, the reason why they're changing this is to make it easier to build your dream squad, which I do agree. For the most part, a lot of people are going to be able to build teams that will have different players in them that you would not have been able to use before, because before you had to get certain players to actually link to other ones, whereas now, like I mentioned, you could have Mbappe and Marquinhos in the team and they're both on 3 chemistry. You don't even have to have Verratti in the middle to get a link between them both. You don't need that in this new system of chemistry. Also, loyalty has been removed. So that's one thing to kind of know. That'll still show first owner on cards, but loyalty has been removed. So my biggest advice for you guys is play around on this website. If you have the beta, play around in the beta a little bit. And it's just new, right? Try to have, an open mindset, thinking about a brand new chemistry system that a lot of people are going to be confused about at first. And you putting in a little bit of time now and putting in the work and learning about how this chem system works will help you big time at the beginning of FIFA, because that's something I want to look at right now. Of course, I cannot open the FIFA 23 beta. I can't do that because that is illegal. I'd get banned, right? According to EA Sports. So a lot of people are playing the beta right now, and I have not really played it much. I'm about to do it after I'm finished recording this. And a lot of people are, they're saying it's hard to build SBCs, because that was one of the other big pieces of information from today, is that SBCs are also going to share the exact same chemistry formula. And what I really think that's going to do market-wise is that is going to change how people are building SBCs. People are not going to be knowing how to build SBCs right away. And it's going to be very important that we know how to build SBCs and how chemistry works, because people are going to be going to Futbin a lot to look up squad building challenge solutions to this stuff. And I think, especially market-wise, that the SBC solutions on Futbin are going to be bigger than ever, because people are going to have to go to Futbin. If they don't know how the system works early on, they're going to have to go in here and try to find solutions to squad building challenges like the League and Nation Basics, Hybrid Nations, Hybrid League. Think about how those are going to be different at the start of FIFA this year. That's going to be a great place to trade on the market. And there's going to be a lot of fluctuations in that this year because of the confusion around the new chemistry style. And also one thing that I think about with this new chemistry style is think about the link investing. We always used to buy cards that would link to, let's say we have a leak for like right now we have a leak for a Neymar, right? A Neymar footies is going to be dropping this weekend. Let's say, oh my goodness, Neymar's dropping. I'm going to go buy Sergio Ramos, right? Because we know that Ramos gets that link to Neymar and it's a green link, and that'll be an easy way for people to add them to their teams. Now, that's not really something that we can do as much. Players will still rise because of linking to other players that are going to be coming out. Like, again, if we got a Neymar SBC in FIFA 23, you would still expect that maybe an Mbappe or maybe some of the most meta cards from that club, from that league would rise up a little bit. But it's going to be harder to find those market movements. And I think EA, one of the reasons they're doing this is to actually create less market movement as people continually change their teams throughout the year with SBCs and objective cards that come out or cards that come out during promos, because EA know that, people are going to be able to link cards in so many different ways than just right up next to each other with the old chemistry method. So that's why I think that's one of the upsides for EA, and a downside as a trader on the market with what we have learned today is that it's probably going to be a little bit harder to trade around those link fluctuations or link investments, if you will, like the Anthony SBC that just came out, right? The Gravenberch Tots card being a green link to Anthony shot up in price. Now in FIFA 23, that sort of thing still could happen because they're from the same club. And I think the club links, since there's only 2 needed, will be a little bit more important to get that extra chemistry that you need in there. But also, if you're going to put 2 players in the same club, you also need at least 1 more from the same league or nation, if those players share a nation, to get yourself that extra chemistry point. So it's just something we're going to have to wrap our minds around, and that's just my initial thoughts on how this new chemistry system could impact the market. There'll just be basically less of an impact of price movement for those sorts of link investments on the game. So that's the biggest thing there. Now let's talk about position changes. I kind of stopped talking about that for a second. Position changes, and I want to show you in this video, actually, the deep dive trailer. As you can see here, they're using the example of Cancelo. So position changes in this FIFA will no longer be based off of just the different position change cards that we have in this game. It's going to be based off each and every player, because each player is going to have different secondary positions. Like you can see here for Mbappe. Mbappe's preferred position is striker, but you can also change him to center forward and left wing. There is only going to be one consumable card in FIFA 23 this next year. It's going to be this one, a position modifier card. No longer will you have center defensive mid to center mid, striker to center forward, which is a W, because we won't have chem style cards that will be costing, or position change cards that will costing 5K on the market, right? I would assume this position modifier would have a medium, maybe like 1 to 2K value, unless EA throw it in packs a ton, just because it's only one card that's going to be out there, and it's the only one card that you're going to be able to use for position changing all of your players. So watch here. They apply the card to Cancelo. Whoops, I went a little bit too far ahead. Let's go back to this. So they apply the card and they get to choose. Since Cancelo's secondary positions from right back are left back and right wing back, they chose left back. And now this Cancelo, who will be off position, you see the exclamation mark, he's going to move to left back, and boom, he is now on more chemistry than what he was before, because of that position change. So that's the biggest thing with position changes, is you just can't move players from striker to center mid. That's probably the biggest L. But again, as we talked about, like knowing that an Mbappe up here at striker is going to get chemistry to my Messi and Hakimi, and boom, put them on 2 stars instead of 3. You don't really need to have those players right next to each other. And now with all the PSG players that I have in my team, if I had a League One manager, boom, I'm at 3 out of 3 stars for all of those PSG players. Then if I fill the rest of my squad out with other players, like I could do some Real Madrid guys in here, I could do a couple more La Liga, one more Prem card, maybe like Cuti Romero or something like that, and we would be golden, right? And this squad would come together with everybody being on 3 stars. So that's kind of the biggest thing with, again, with some chemistry in there and with the position changes changing in this year's game. That's the biggest part of what we learned. It really, really is. A couple other small things, and then we'll talk about FUT moments. Speaking of chemistry system boost, Foot Spy here is tweeting and says, as far as I can work it out, a 1-star chemistry would be equal to 6 chem stat boost, 2-star to 8, and a 3-star to 10. So chemistry boost this year, instead of like losing, like if you had a player on 7 chem, you would lose a bit of their stats. This year, nobody loses stats. They always will play at their face card stats, unless they're out of, or even if they're out of position, I believe they will always play at their face card stats. Now, if you put a chem style on them, they're only going to increase more by however much more chemistry they have. So even if you have a squad this year, and that's why I think that this chemistry system is really based for casuals, because if you have a squad, that has players that are not on 3 out of 3 chemistry points, does it really matter that much? Because you're not losing any of your stats. You're really just prohibiting the maximum rise of additional stat output that card could have with the chem style or whatever. So that's what's almost got me thinking like, chemistry this year is just really not as important as it was before for squad building, because your players aren't being penalized for being off chem. That's something that's different from last year as well. So that's pretty interesting from there. And then also just some other random things. This is the pack animation, which it looks similar to this last year. It almost kind of looks similar to like FIFA 20 as well, with the boards dropping and stuff like that. But I don't think the boards actually drop. And this is only one small part of the pack animation. Notice here when Vinny comes out, it like counts up his rating. Kind of cool, kind of different. And then all this stuff going on above. I said this on stream today. I was like, this reminds me of like Hot Wheels tracks where the cars are flying around, super fast, going loop-de-loops and stuff. That's kind of what that reminded me of. So kind of crazy there. And very different, but that is a early pack animation that was released from the beta. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is just what we mentioned at the beginning, FUT moments. And this is the brand new FUT stars chemistry that you see here. And we talked about it from a video earlier on. This is one of the bigger things as well, because no longer do you have to just go into FIFA and want to play the game. No longer do you have to just play a full game. You are now going to be able to have these moments, which is available in other video games like MLB The Show and Madden. These are going to be like small bite-sized segments or challenges that you have to complete to earn rewards. You get these stars and then you earn the rewards. So like some of the challenges, for example, you might have to overturn a 2-0 deficit to win the game in the last 15 minutes, recreate a screamer from the weekend's action. Another example that they gave in the deep dive was, like scoring a free kick goal in the 90th. Right, to win. So it's all about these stars. And then with the stars, what you can do is you go into the star gallery, which I believe is going to be in the store. And then, you're going to be able to build it up for these packs. You can see here that like 0 stars is an Mbappe loan item. And then you have these rewards at 24, 32, 64, and 124 stars. You get these better packs, right? So that's kind of, it's cool because that's just going to be another way that you can, it's almost like a swaps program that's always available 24/7, is you can go out, acquire these stars, and turn them in for packs and for other rewards. So I think that's pretty much a W as well. And those are the biggest things from yesterday's content, right? And from yesterday's video, the moments, the chemistry, crossplay is not really new. We kind of knew about that. FUT Heroes, they did end up confirming Marquisio. They showed him on the trailer, but that really wasn't new as well. We knew that Marquisio was going to be dropped. So realistically, from today's information, really the chemistry is the biggest part. Chemistry, position changes. And, again, I would just recommend keep thinking about this stuff. Watch other, videos, maybe learning and having people talk about the chemistry system, and also mess around on this website. Again, link is going to be down below in the description, because this is really, really helpful in learning what cards are going to work together and how you're going to be able to build your starter squads at the beginning of FIFA 23. If you learn this, you're going to be so much further ahead than everybody else that's getting on FIFA 23 for the first time. here in basically a little less than 2 months, as we are not far away from FIFA 23. So take the opportunity to click that link down below. Click on that squad builder link, check it out. And again, drop down below in the comments what you think. I know some people are like, man, I don't like this new chemistry system. It sucks because it's new and I have to learn something and it's not the old way that it used to be. I would just, again, encourage you to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to just say, all right, I'm here to learn something new, and kind of take that kind of mindset instead of just wishing that it was going to be staying as the old way. And then with everything related to the market for this, we're just going to have to take it and learn as it comes. And we're going to, of course, talk a lot about this stuff as we get very close to FIFA 23 regarding SBCs, regarding how to make coins at the start of the game, and with chemistry links and stuff, you know, impacting that. We'll probably learn a lot from the beta and the demo and early access when we get on all sorts of this stuff. It's going to be a learning process for how this new chemistry overhaul will impact the market, but it's going to be fun. And if you're excited to join the journey with me, drop a thumbs up on the video. Again, comment down below if you have any questions or comments or anything that you learned from yesterday that you thought was helpful or that you like or you don't like. Drop that down below in the comments. And of course, subscribe if you are new. That is all the information I have for you today. But it has been Nate the Foot Accountant. I will catch you guys later. Peace.